do we mean with nature-based solution? Nature-based solutions are actions to protect, sustainably manage, and restore both natural and modified ecosystems that address societal challenges effectively and adaptively, simultaneously providing human well-being and biodiversity benefits. In other words, they are solutions which are inspired by the natural world. Examples of NBS are urban forests or open green spaces. Today, we will mostly talk about the constructed and natural wetlands. The concept of nature-based solution is strongly linked to the concept of ecosystem service. Ecosystem service are the many and varied benefits to humans provided by the natural environment and from healthy ecosystems. Such ecosystems include, for example, agroecosystem, forest ecosystem, grassland ecosystem, and aquatic ecosystem. These ecosystems may provide some benefits to humans, such as the pollination of crops, the provision of clean air or clean water, and the mitigation of extreme weather damages. Collectively, these benefits are becoming known as ecosystem service and are often integral to the provisioning of clean drinking water, the decomposition of waste, and resilience and productivity of food ecosystems. Ecosystem services are generally grouped by typology and function. For instance, provisional service concern provision of essential and primary resources such as clean air and water, food, etc. Regulating service refer to the process like climate regulation, flood regulation, or water purification. Supporting service concern process like nutrient cycling or primary production, and cultural service are related to recreation, aesthetics, spiritual or educational aspect. And such service are strongly linked to human mental and physical well-being society components. Specific NBS may generally provide multiple ecosystem services. For instance, biodiversity, but also flood regulation, climate regulation, carbon sequestration, and disaster risk reduction. A natural wetland may provide wildlife habitat which will result in increased biodiversity. The water purification process which occurs in the wetland may provide a water quality improvement, but also a flood mitigation. It may restore a healthy hydrological balance between surface water and groundwater. Now, let's speak about conventional and NBS treatment of wastewater. Under a certain perspective, even a conventional biological treatment of wastewater is a sort of NBS. It is in fact based on natural water purification processes that naturally occur in rivers and aquatic ecosystems in general. However, water purification in conventional wastewater treatment plants is obtained in an engineered environment, where it is possible to control the operational parameters, such as the dissolved oxygen, and it provides only the service of water purification. Natural or constructed wetlands generally present a very low degree of engineering and may provide, as we already discussed, multiple ecosystem services. Here we can see a conventional wastewater treatment plant and an associated wetland. It is also quite evident that the wetland occupies more than 1/3 of the whole treatment area. But we will return on that later. Here you can see some examples of wetlands. The main processes occurring in wetlands are adsorption, biochemical oxidation, reduction reaction, ion exchange, sedimentation, and evapotranspiration. The mineralization of organic substances, nitrification and denitrification or dephosphation processes mainly occur with the participation of soil microorganisms. In addition, the presence of plants creates the so-called Rhizosphere Effect. Macrophytic plants, due to air-filled tissue called parenchyma, can transport oxygen from air to the rhizosphere. An oxygen-filled zone is formed in the closest vicinity of the roots, and further away from the roots and rootstocks, there is an anaerobic zone. Thus, a mosaic of aerobic and anaerobic zones is formed, called rhizosphere, which provides the right condition for the metabolism of different organisms. So plants reproduce what is generally engineered in conventional treatment plants. Constructed wetland (CW) treatment systems are engineered systems that have been designed and constructed to utilize the natural processes involving wetland vegetation, soil, and their associated microbial assemblages to assist in treating wastewater. Constructed wetlands may be classified according to the flow regime into surface flow, water surface, and subsurface flow system, which can be horizontal or vertical. An horizontal subsurface flow constructed wetland is a large gravel and self-filled basin that is planted with wetland vegetation. As wastewater flows horizontally through the basin, the filter material filters out particles and microorganisms degrade the organics. Vertical subsurface constructed wetlands permit instead the continuous or intermittent loading with upstream or downstream characteristics. The subsurface type of wetland is considered to have several advantages over the surface type. If the water surface is maintained below the medial surface, there is little risk of odors, exposure, or insect and vectors. Besides, the wastewater is directly connected with the plant rhizosphere, which plays important roles in degrading organic materials and reducing nutrients. Contaminant removal is supported by root system of plants and media, soil and stone, compiling biofilm which maintains the degradation. Basically, the constructed wetland is a pond where both evaporation and precipitation influence the water level, with an influent pollutant load entering the system and a lower pollutant load effluent is discharged. But let's give some very simple design criteria for the constructed wetland. A simple equation could be used to estimate the required wetland area, allowing to comply with the required effluent standard limits. The area can be obtained by calculating the logarithmic delta between the influent and effluent pollutant concentration. For instance, in terms of biochemical oxygen demand, BOD, in milligram per liters, which is a measure of the biodegradable organic pollution load, and multiplying this delta by the average daily inflow in cubic meters per day to obtain the pollution load that needs to be removed, and dividing this load by the BOD daily degradation constant, KBOD. That would lead to a 3 or 5 square meters for people equivalent of area needed for the secondary treatments and 1 or 2 square meters of people equivalent of area needed for the tertiary treatments. Besides the obvious advantages in terms of pollution removal, constructed wetlands, though built essentially to treat wastewater, provide also habitats for different species, increasing both biodiversity and enabling to restore the ecological integrity of degraded aquatic ecosystems. An ecosystem with integrity is in fact a resilient and self-sustaining natural system, able to accommodate stress and change. Biologically, this wetland hosts plant and animal communities which are good examples of the native community and the diversity typical of the region. Moreover, also structurally, the wetland physical features, such as width of its stream channels, are dynamically stable. In conclusion, despite the large surface required, the NBS treatments have many advantages, such as the low energy requirements and the minimum environmental impacts. However, these systems may also provide important additional benefits, such as the control of diffuse pollution sources, such as the stormwater runoff, the associated ecosystem service, such as biodiversity, carbon storage and sequestration, water storage, and water soil quality regulation.